Welcome to my garden tour. This is Bonnie and I'm part of the Gananoque Horticultural Society virtual garden tours for 2021. My front garden here is a heart-shaped one with my most favorite, I'll say that likely a lot, Monardas or bee balm. Beautiful shades this year, hybrid series that are a little bit smaller, very hardy, all came out in bloom. How can you not like it? There's bergamot leaves for tea. You can throw Monarda or bee balm in salads. The flowers actually are edible. Taste rather peppery. Easy to take care of actually, as long as they're in a bit of breeze and they don't get the powder mildew. The rocks were found on site here with excavating the lot, so I wanted to save them and put them in the center of it. At the front of the house, I plant Spirea. The two at the front here are beautiful chartreuse color that had very dark pink blooms, but right now they're kind of turning orange, which is really nice, so there'll be a show of orange and chartreuse through them. Another Spirea that I think will turn a little bit too, some of those red leaf colors. The Hostas and Monarda, and this little hydrangea called Tough Stuff. Just planted it last year. The blooms are phenomenal. Like, it's just so pretty. So pretty. Love it. Of course, the Hosta, where there's no sun in the back. Hostas are, this time of year, not looking too badly, actually. My burning bush, of course, hasn't turned until the fall. We had one in the corner there, but not enough sun, so anyway, but these at the end do get enough and turn for me. I'll take you around to the side. We've got planted hostas all along the edge. My mother always said it's not just for us, because we don't see this part of the house, but it's for neighbors. These gardens are one of my favorite gardens. This, we can see actually from inside the house. The house was designed around these rocks, Great Canadian Shield granite rocks that hold all kinds of potassium and calcium feldspar, quartz and mica. I supplement some of the earth, but with fertilizers and different soils. So it's just a beauty of color and whatever as we ascend the hill here. Yeah, so I've added some annuals. You see the coleus and petunias, the hostas, catnip, peonies, vinca. There's some vinca there, plus some vinca that started right there. This is my blue heron that landed here a couple years ago, never left. My pulmonaria, I'm looking forward to seeing the blooms on it. They should be like a blue and pink, almost fluorescent. There's my rotary Spirea that I had to cut back last year. I thought I'd lost it, but it's doing great. More hostas and the junipers that trail down and have finally, this guy's finally hit the next plateau down and is rooted in the earth there. All these built up, these gardens with the rocks that I had found, we had found when we were gardening. And we use all the rocks for the fences and the buildup of the other beds. So behind that is a very unique hydrangea. It's too bad you can't see the blooms. I planted it late last year. There's at least 7 blooms on it that I see that are going to. It's a Princess Sturza from her gardens in Normandy, France, actually. She named it Great Star in about 2012. So I wish you could see those flowers, but maybe I'll take a picture and send it. As we move around the gardens, you can see all the big rocks. The granite from the Great Canadian Shield. They're very warm, actually. So I have to kind of make sure that the leaves of the plants aren't touching the main rocks. I can build it up underneath with smaller ones that stay a little bit cooler, but keep the leaves off the main rock. Some of these hostas have been planted in very little soil, but are very happy, as you can see, because they just spread more and more every year. This garden down here, more Monarda, my Francis William with the blanket flower and the irises. And a little bit of stone crop. I think that's called lime twister, but it doesn't really look quite lime. My goras here attract the butterflies. They just kind of wave in the wind. Beautiful perennial that I've just really captured this year. This little dog is our dog, Cooper's best friend. He comes up and sits beside him a lot. Planted a little bed of geraniums, pink and orange, colors that pop off each other. This guy here is my first Hosta, still doing really, really well. And you can see the stones that I built up around him. The ferns grow everywhere here like weeds. Up there's beautiful coral bells, Fuchsia, that actually stay that color all winter long, all year. And they're almost fluorescent in the sun. That's a blazing star, Liatris, and it only has one flower left. Not sure what ate the other ones, but the rest of them are all gone. And I'll take you up now to some of the upper level. And this is from the back gardens looking down at the house. The stone crops and the bee balm and the natural fern growth there that's been there since day one. A few of my poppies from 2 years ago have popped up. But this is the garden I'd like to show you, is the Echinacea Garden in the spring. It holds all of my alliums, just a beautiful show in the spring. But right now it's got the white petunias. I've put some celosia in to pick up the colors of the Echinacea. But it's powwow pink, and of course adobe orange, which I think is new this year. It's just a wonderful color, and with the cone flowers at the back. As I said, we're coming up the steps there and coming around. More hybrid bee balm, and this is like a wild phlox that I have to keep trimmed so that it doesn't lay over the hot rocks too much. The Fern Bed, got a few poppies that have come up from a couple of years ago. And as we come up the steps, this is kind of what we see as we come up. And this is looking again over to where we kind of started. And I'll look a little bit closer at some of these gardens. And one of them is this stone crop. This will turn like a beautiful pinky orange in the fall. It's just spectacular. All these little cracks have all my little sedums in it. I only had one little one, and I made it stretch out all the way along the track. And this takes us to the gardens, that face south actually, but they're at least shaded by my little oak trees here. I hope this isn't too jiggly. Yeah, so this is another part of the garden. There's my Easter Island guy. He protects us. He's in a nice spot. He's lit up at night. He's kind of nice. I put in some more geraniums to pop color. I've got phlox, barberry, and a picture of some wall art, garden art, as if we didn't have enough flowers. The barberry is still pretty when the sun hits it. My different color hostas and more bee balm, hybrid bee balm, catnip, sedum, Veronica, another butterfly flower, I call it, or Gora. Daylilies coming in, another burning bush. Hostas, Spireas. And this stone crop, along with the coral bells, the Hosta, and the potentilla, I mean, it's just beautiful. A little bit of stilby poking up behind. So that's what we were just looking at. We come across this still at the back of the house. Got some kind of wild geraniums and different plants for sure. That's where we were. Some pig squeak blanket flowers, hostas, Normanarda. That was a bleeding heart at the back that blossomed really nicely this year. The astilbes, Matilda and George. How could I do my gardening without you? Yeah, some geraniums and Pachysandra. Pig squeak, this is the last part of the gardens that we actually completed. You can see the perspective down below, how high up we are. But we cleaned in between all these rocks. They were totally covered when we got here, 2004, when we started clearing the land. Some Veronica sticking up. One of them is a barren wort that sits back there, the first year for it. Very pleased with it, very happy in the shade, along with the hostas. Boxwoods like the shade too, so they're hopefully coming around pretty good. There's kind of still be more pulmonaria. And you can see the perspective down below, how high up we are. Western sunsets are right through there, so all is good. Yeah. As you can see, I'm going uphill here. Oops. And that's where we were. So that is my lilac garden. Come along with the stone crop and all the cracks. This Virginia creeper runs down the rocks into the north garden. The catnip and orange, the blue and the orange, complementary colors. Two big, huge, humongous tomato plants that my neighbors gave me. But I have my cat watching out for it all. And these are all from seed. My marigolds, the daylily. All along the cracks, plants grow. So here we are. That's the back gardens, and this, of course, is our deck. This is the south garden, my crystal bird bath. It's a narrow little piece of garden. Different grasses, goras, loose strife. All do well, amazingly, considering the sun it gets, you know. Yeah, so that's, and this leads up to the upper part of the rock where my Easter Island villa is, with the rest of my garden. So I guess that concludes the garden tour. Thanks for watching.